Hi, beautiful people. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're at in the world. It's Jakiya Brown Thiaw of the Hustle to Ease Brand Bootcamp, and we live. I'm super excited today because we're talking about something I don't think enough people talk about on the internet. Like content is always the vibe, but what about systems? Right? Like having your brand experience, having your brand systems, having things set up in the back end is going to allow your content to work harder and smarter for you. So I know everyone's yelling and yapping about content, but I'm here to talk about systems, and a soft life requires systems. So in fact, I was able to take almost 2 months off over the summer. I went to Miami, I went to Paris, I was in New York, I was in North Carolina with my nephew. And I was able to do that. I was afforded that luxury because my brand is set up with automations and systems, and I did not have to pump out content all summer long on the Zuckerberg internet. So that is thanks to systems. I'm gonna give you some free smoke today, even though it's not Friday. We still about free smoke, and I'm inviting Kris San. She's gonna be a new face here in the bootcamp world, but I'm gonna tell you all about her as she jumps on this live. So if you guys have any questions, drop them below. I've been chatting with a lot of you guys in the DMs. You've been seeing my content. So this is live. If you have other questions, we can definitely answer your questions and make sure that you are getting your questions answered. If you are interested in learning more about systems, at any point during this live, drop the word systems into the chat and we'll send you the link to our free workshop. That is happening tomorrow at the same exact time. So if you're free now, you will be free tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern or 9 a.m. PST. So excited to introduce you to someone who really embodies systems, who embodies taking what you have and turning it into something great, who embodies hustle to ease, right? And she's our newest mentor inside of Cohort 20 Brand Bootcamp. She's here to help you stop doing the most and start building a smarter brand with smarter systems that makes your life easier and gets the results. Let's get her in here. Let's get her in here. Systems. Yes, we'll DM you the link. Just give us a second while we get Kris in here. Oh yeah, looking good.
What is up?
Hey girl, how are you?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
I'm great. I'm excited to see you again and to talk. And we got people in the live already who are really looking forward to this conversation because I've already deemed you as the systems queen. So many people ask me about my backend, my systems, how am I able to sustain my business for 7, 8 years, my brand bootcamp for 5 years. And the answer is systems. I know everyone's obsessed with like content, but honestly, I think building a brand that has systems is really what has kept me in the game. So I would love for you to introduce yourself because I know that's what you're all about. Hi, my mom from here. And yeah, give the people a little rundown about who you are.
Absolutely. So first of all, I come from Puerto Rico. So for all the Caribbean islanders out there, representing my
Period.
island everywhere, always. And I didn't always start in systems, I started like everyone else, just testing out the entrepreneurial waters, wanting freedom, wanting to call my own shots, wanting to control my income, like just not like asking for permission to go on a vacation or to be there for someone I want to be there for. Like that just did not, it was just not going to work for me. And
Hey,
so,
hey.
and also the bureaucracy as well, like as when you're in these systems, like corporate systems or government institutions, like, the way that it all works and how you can become successful in these places, often you have to compromise the things that you believe in. So I was just like not good with any of it. So I started to explore entrepreneurship, started in the creative services world. And so I saw all the issues there too. It was just like everything was broken, it felt like. And so then I started to understand like how can I rebuild in a way that not only it benefits me, but it benefits the people around me because I also couldn't just do it for me. Like I've just never thought like that. It's always been about like how can I'm first gen everything? How can I
Hey.
how can I, like, you know what I mean, put the breadcrumbs for someone else to get to where I'm getting to quicker and
Yeah.
easier, right? Because that's the other thing. I
Right.
want to play, I want to have fun. I want to be able
Period.
to enjoy the things that I'm doing. And if
Yeah.
I'm like creating content 24/7 or working with people that suck my energy dry, like how am I going to, that's not happiness either. So it's just
No.
like all of these experiences led me to
Yes.
the place where like not only do I build now with the people that I want to build with, but like we actually enjoy the process, which a lot of people
Yeah.
don't think about because everyone's like mostly, sucked into the outcomes and the more money and the more stuff. So,
The
so
the
the,
sales goals. Yeah.
yeah, so
I
peace,
love that.
purpose, profits, baby. That's what we're allowed.
Purpose, profits. This
Yeah.
is why we thrive. Like, obviously, for the people that have been following me, you can see why we're so aligned, and it makes sense for Kris to come into the brand new camp Hustle to Ease world because we on the same time. And if you're not on this time, you just don't get it. It's okay. Those who get it. And I'm really just happy to be around your energy in this space with you. I'm excited that you'll be co-mentoring and being a mentor inside of Brand Bootcamp. I want to talk a little bit more about that piece, profit, purpose. You run your company on three principles that you explained to me earlier. Can you talk us through that and like why that's important in building a brand? Yes, drop it in the chat. Peace, purpose, profit. Yes, I love that. Hi from Senegal. Yes, we're in Senegal too. What's up?
Yes, absolutely. So it's the three ingredients for success. That's what CWK, the company, stands for. And it's the first one is caring, which equals attracting the right people, the community. Then when you attract and you start having and you start now making, now you have to maintain, right? That takes wisdom. We need to learn from other people. We need to take the advice and apply it. And then finally, in order to multiply, we must be kind. I believe that kindness is just so important and so underrated, and you just it gives me get goosebumps right now just like thinking about how important this is.
Yes, yes. And I love that because it's not just about doing more work. It's not only about building the brand, it's about using the resources that you have, applying them wisely, collaborating with people on the same frequency. Like, I'm big about that. I've met you through Brian, which a lot of you guys have heard me mention Brian a million times, who is someone who's helped me really grow this boot camp from scratch. And if you're not on our frequency, we not vibing with you. It just is what it is. And that's why for us, sometimes it can be hard to be in these social media streets because the frequency is so low. And it's not for everyone. Everyone can't go. It just is what it is, and that's okay. So that's really like why I'm excited to collaborate with you. Huge believer in kindness. Yeah, Steph, who used to be on our team, systems, project management, agile, all the things. But we're really big believers in leveraging what you have and transformation. So can you talk about that? Because I know a lot of people have fears around success, fears around failing, limited beliefs like we're both first at everything. I can't do this. I've never seen someone who's done that. Like, can you talk a little bit more about meeting yourself in the moment and leveraging what you have to build for success?
Absolutely. And so when we think about systems, oftentimes we want to think about systems outside of ourselves first. Like, what are you using to run your automations? What are you using to do content? What's your gear? What's your stuff?
Right.
But the first system is ourselves and our character. That is our first system, is our mindset. That's our first operating system that we need to have in check. And so when we're investing in our internal happiness, when we're investing in our internal compass, like that changes the game because what is good for me may not be good for you. And that is
Period.
okay. That's
Period.
okay. So that is really truly where we start from. We start with the character and we start with that mindset. And I suffered from fear of success because it was passed on to me by one of my parents. And so we all have this stuff that we carry. We all have this baggage, but we can
Yeah.
choose to turn it into our purpose because
Mhm.
typically that's where it's at. Like our pain, my pain, I turned it into my mission. And I believe
Period.
that every single thing that we go through as humans in our individual life, that is where the ingredients, the secrets to what our journey specifically is going to look like lies in. That's your training
Period.
treasure.
Yes. I love that. So how do you reframe that? And thank you for sharing that. That's something that's been passed down because that happened, right? Like generational trauma and breaking these cycles and all of these things. So um sometimes a lot of times it's not the fear of failure, it's the fear of success. How do we reframe that? Because you and I have been going back and forth on reframes, and I love how you take something, you take pain, reframe it into purpose. You take resource what you have, you reframe it into systems. How do we reframe that fear of success?
Well, I think it's first understanding that like it's not about getting rid of something. It's about understanding where it's coming from and why it's there. And then it's about
Mm,
pushing through anyway. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like this is because it's not, we can build all the systems, we can do all the things, but
Yes.
things are
Awesome.
gonna break. We like
Mhm.
a skilled sailor is not made in calm waters. Like this is
Period.
about you being armed. It's about being armed with the tools and the knowledge and the mindset and the community because we cannot do this alone. If I
No.
go through something, I need to be able to, yo, Jakiya, I'm going through this, sis. Like,
Right.
what advice you got for me? What tool do you got for me? How am I not seeing this from the right angle right now? We
Right.
need each other, and we're trying to do all this stuff by ourselves and be self-made and like, look at what I did. Be proud of what? No, no. And so this is why I love systems, and systems is not just about the technology, it's about the community and how you're even showing up to the room. You're already a system.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Period. 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 You preaching. I'm taking notes. And that's how you do it, people. That's how you do it. That's how you step into ownership. Is like understanding that you have the power. You are able to take what you have and carry it and collaborate. You don't have to carry it alone and step into ease. Like a lot of times, especially for us, people of color, it's like we have to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. We got to do it on our own. Get it out the mud. That only creates more stress, more problems, more burnout. And we're trying to create ease, profit, right? Peace, purpose, and realizing that you can let go of some of those, um, not just for limited beliefs, but like things that we've been taught that may not necessarily ring true anymore or may not be true for us. I love this. I love this. So talk about a little bit more about the systems as it pertains to building a brand. So a lot of people in here are either entrepreneurs, founders of brands, creative, spirited, or in corporate daddies, but are ready to jump ship because they're like you and me. I just couldn't do it
Yeah,
no more. I thank God that
yeah.
I don't have to. So talk about like I would love to hear from you as you are a brand architect and you specialize on consumer journey and the brand experience. What does a brand mean to you? Like, let's just strip it down to the basics and start with the brand, and then how is it supported by systems? Because I think we need a little education on this here because things are just thrown out on the internet and people just saying stuff to say stuff.
For sure, for sure. So the way that I see, I build everything very holistically, and it has to do with nature as well. Like the answers are found in nature. So there's an
Mhm.
internal and there's an external to everything, right? And so there's the personal brand, and then there's the business brand, which are your products and your services and what you're building outside of yourself. Your personal brand is the internal. That's the roots. The fruits are the products, the services, the company brand, and all that you're doing outside of yourself. So the problem is that when we try to build from an external place only, then guess what? We're going to get external issues. We're going to get stuff that's not aligned with the internal, right? So that's first of all, we got to understand what's the roots and what's the fruits. The other thing is that social media, content, all that, that's what people can see. That's typically the fruits, right? But the thing that you had to become to be able to do the thing and have the thing, that's the roots. That's the thing that nobody sees. That's
Thank
the thing
you.
that nobody celebrates.
Right.
And so
Right.
we have to learn how to do the things when no one's watching, regardless of celebration or not, or regardless when that seed grows or blooms.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing it from a deeper place, right, it doesn't matter when the harvest comes.
Period.
This is
It
my
will
mission.
come.
It will, it will, it will. But like at the end of the day, I think that when we separate ourselves from what it needs to be, what it needs to look like, and we
Right.
embrace that journey, we embrace the messiness because building a brand, Jakiya, as we know, it could be a messy journey. It's like growth.
Absolutely.
Was it easy to find your partner and marry them? Like that's our
Like
drive.
it was easier than building a brand.
And I think you're one of the lucky ones. I'm 40 years old and I, I'm in a relationship, but I'm not married and I don't have that yet. You know what I mean? Like we all go through our own different levels of stuff, but like at the end of the day, it's about really understanding that a personal brand, you already have one. You're just
Yeah.
either curating it or you're not, or you're letting other people curate it for you.
Oh, oh, oh. Let me write that down. I love that.
Right. And so because I'm an architect, because I am curating and I am designing every single aspect of my life, whether it's money, relationships, health, all of it. I am taking control of it, ownership of it. So that's what I truly believe at the end of the day, like a personal brand is about taking ownership of your own personal development journey, making those
Yeah.
roots as deep as possible, so then you can grow fruits that can feed as many people as you would like.
Other people. Yep. You, yourself, your family, your legacy, other people. Yes. Y'all, she preaching. Drop in the comments. I'm just trying to read the comments. Jillian Systems, yes. If you want access to our free workshop tomorrow at noon EST, drop systems in the chat and we will send you the direct link to sign up. This has been great. Our thing is, listen, start now. The longer you wait, the longer it's going to take, the harder it's going to be to build. Like if I had to start a brand boot camp today versus 6 years ago, oh, I could do it, but I'm so glad that I already started. So if you're in a position of waiting, watching, wishy-washy, like I think now is the best time. Yes, it's scary. Sorry, my window's open. Yes, the economy is hard, right? Yes, all the things, but this is the best time to bet on yourself because like this is what it is. Like we talked about 2025 feeling different because it is, right? Like things are no longer like they used to be, and we have to move different because you can't buy back time and you can't do something at a point where it's too far gone and now you're wishing and hoping and wanting to go back, right? So for me, there's only 4 months left in the year, like you said. This is our sprint season. Q3 to Q4 is really where you get it done. Most businesses make 50% or more or of their revenue in these quarters. Yeah, the shades are nice. And that is that's the go time, right? Like people are going back to school, people are going back to work, all the things. Like this is the time to really lock in and concentrate. So that's why we are hosting a free workshop tomorrow. So you can stop scrolling, start building, right? Like a soft life really requires systems, a brand requires systems. And you'll be able to apply what you have now to build more momentum, shift your mindset from just executing and doing to actually owning, and then build a foundation for your brand that's going to create freedom and structure. So drop those questions because I want to make sure that this verbiage isn't going over your head. I can get into the minutia when I link with someone who's on the same time as me. We can get really into the weeds. So if you guys have questions around brand building, what systems mean, what does that look like? Please drop them. Stop scrolling, start building. That's right. Please drop them in the chat. We are happy to answer. This is a safe space, the community. We want you to learn. I think there's a lot of people out here on the internet that are like talking to make people feel stupid. That's never how I want people to feel. I have 15 years of experience in brand building with some of the biggest brands in the world. And I want to distill that information so that you can build your own personal brand or business out here in this world and have a piece of the pie. So anything that may be like, what are they talking about? Please ask questions so that we can clarify. I want to know what it looks like for a creative. Por favor, we love the Spanish. You fish. Okay, I'm gonna put that on you, Kris.
Yeah, for sure. So creatives are my market, specifically, and actually, they're a very interesting breed of people, but I love them so much. And so the biggest thing with creatives are this explorer mindset. It's really like because creatives they thrive on like creating new things and exploring new worlds and going into different things. And so the thing about building a business and building a system is that it has to be the same thing over and over and over and over again that produces the same result over and over and over again. And that could be it could seem like you're boxing someone in, or it can seem like you're taking away that creative expression from them because you're trying to build something repeatable. And so what happens with that is that what we help creatives understand is that when you create constraints and you actually put a little bit of restriction on all that beautiful creativity, you actually get something even bigger because your mind now has something to focus on. It has
Yes.
something to play within, and it creates
Create.
the freedom, as
Yes.
Ernesto is saying here. So
Yes.
it this is one of the things where we work with them a lot on this, and I love it. And it took me a long time to get there as well, so I get it.
Same.
But for the
Same.
but for the creatives, we have a lot of tools for them. That's all I'll say.
Yes. And what I can add to that, because I think I have a
Yeah.
little bit of both, right? Like working on in creative industry. So I started my career in beauty, working for some of the biggest beauty brands on this planet. And there requires a level of creativity. But what I learned from one of my bosses there was um, business happens in the boring, right? Like when it starts to become the same thing over and over and over, you're really cooking. You really in business. And I had grapple with that when I got to cohort, I would say like maybe cohort 9, and now we're in 20. And I
Mm.
was like, this is so boring. I'm doing the same thing. I think someone said it. The same thing over and over and over. But that same thing has compounded into over 150 graduates, almost $10 million in revenue made for our girls, creating new jobs, new gigs in this economy, new founders, right? Feeding people, teams, impact, legacy. So that same kind of boring thing has came to fruition in a bigger way than I ever thought it would. So I think it's like having a little bit of both and then making sure you have room for your creativity outside of your business. Like creating just to create that has nothing to do with your business, I think will also free your mind a little bit.
Agreed.
Um, More questions. These are great. Thanks, guys. Can you please give us some insights on how to get connected and be sure of our purpose? Ooh,
That one's awesome. Jakai, have you ever heard of Ikigai?
you know it. I use it
You know it.
every boot camp. And
There you
also
go.
in the module that is it the module that you're teaching? No, the module 1. That's one of the first things the girls do. Is the Ikagi. Yes. Tell the
Ikigai,
people
yeah.
about it.
So that's a framework that basically, because at the end of the day, like, we want to make money, right? That's one thing. We want to do the thing that is our purpose and our passion lights us up. That's another thing. And sometimes like that doesn't align. Sometimes no one wants to pay you for the thing that lights you up the most. And so that's where like a lot of the experience and trying and innovation and compromising sometimes as well. Like I didn't know, I never thought in my wildest dreams that I was going to be a systems architect. Never. I didn't wake up one day and be like, I want to build systems for creative businesses. And this
Yeah.
is the thing that's going to make me the most happiest. Like, no, because when you're
Yes.
an entrepreneur and you're like, first of all, you've decided that you want to do stuff for other people. You want to solve other people's problems. That's number one. So you got to understand, what is the need of your community? What is the need of the people around you? What do people need the most? And this is
Yes.
how I ended up founding CWK, because like I needed to create a space where people could come and build their dreams, or at least build the
I
money
love that.
machines, or build the money machines that then they can go and fund their dreams with. And that is what I ended up investing the next probably 10 years of my life is going to be building this company, to the point where like I can go and live my dreams. I can start my clothing company that I've always wanted to start. I could go and do like
Yes.
the sick collabs and the movies that I've always wanted to make. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that like I don't find ways to express that today in my company. Of course, we could do commercials, we do these different things, but at the end of the day, it's about your mission, and your purpose needs to be greater than your individual want or desire.
Absolutely. And she says Ikagi, but still, yes. So I will add to that because I am a direct living example of I was like, I don't know my purpose. I prayed about it. I went months, years, and was just like, what am I supposed to be doing? I don't have the talent. I can't sing. I can't dance. I can't draw. And I really beat myself up over it. And for me, one of the things that you said that we do in Brand Boot Camp Module 1 is 150-year vision. Like, what is the impact that you want to have when you're long gone? I think thinking about it outside of yourself is where you start. I think also being in alignment. You as a woman, I think you're a queen. Yeah, queen. I don't know your name, but as a woman, you have an intuition, right? Like you
Mhm.
can feel if something is aligned or not. And a lot of
Mhm.
times we just ignore it. But listen to that and tap into that because it will lead you closer to your purpose. And then if you can, I know everyone can't maybe do this right now, but for me, I took a year off to just travel. And I didn't do luxury travel. This was in 2017. I took a sabbatical. I was not working. I was focusing on myself, listening to my inner self, understanding what I like, what I can do, what I'm good at. I know that might be, yeah, Senegal. Okay, I love that. I'm in Senegal too. So, and what led me to Senegal, right? So, like, I followed all these little voices that led me to where I'm at. And now I can look up and say, okay, I see the purpose that God has on my life. And this is where I want to keep going. And these are the things that I don't want to do. Now, that was a journey of 7 years. So, it's not an answer where you're just going to like wake up and be sure of it. But I guess what I'm trying to say is little God winks and little moments along the way will tell you, yes, turn right, not left. Like keep going in that direction, and then it'll kind of be wrapped in purpose. I know that's kind of like a preachy woo woo, but that's kind of how it happened for me. So my brand identity be a reflection of me or projected
Bro, this has
identity?
some deep questions out here.
These are good. I feel
Yeah.
this deep.
Yeah.
Ooh, what do you think about that one? We
So
talk
I
about brand identity a lot in the boot camp and just in general. Like it's
yeah. And I've built a lot of brand identities for people. And I think that in the most unsuccessful brand identities happen when you try to do a projected reality of what the truth is. I think that when
mm,
you start really understanding who you are, just as you get older, like I just turned 40, bro, and I feel like I'm in this, like, I just came into the, I know, I just, and I feel like I just joined this secret club of wisdom that just got transferred to me. And, you know, when you like really know and step into who you are 100%, like there's no trying, there's only doing.
period.
That truly, it gives you a another level of confidence, because like even if like who cares if you rebrand 15 times before you settle
Right.
on the identity that's going to be the one that you can stick with for 5 years, or who cares if your evolution disturbs those that want to stay the same? Who
That part.
cares? You know what I mean? Like when you are grounded in your own truth, no one can tell you any different. It doesn't matter whether you're doing a trend or you're not. You're being true to yourself. So I think
Period.
that like really understanding like who you are is the single most important work that we can do. And I will challenge you that every single thing that you're doing outside of yourself is just to give you more information about what's inside of you.
Mm-hmm. Love that. Yes, 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 yes. I agree. Steve Jobs says the journey of building a brand is a journey of personal discovery. So it's hand in hand. And I think that exactly what you said, you hit the nail on the head. Like you can rebrand, you can evolve, and some of the best brands are brands that we've grown up with or grown with them. So another little receipt. I worked on Lancome, which is over 100 years old of a brand, right? And when I was at the brand, we hit 1 billion in revenue, which is like absolutely insane. But you're talking about a brand that has been around before my grandmother was born, and will probably be around after me, right? And they've gone through so many iterations. And this is a skincare company under L'Oreal, if you don't know where Lancome is, but they've gone through iterations and iterations of what their brand identity is based on their products, based on their results, based on the problem that the consumer has. So it's not a person, but there is an identity around the brand based on those things. and it's still standing and selling off shelves today. So I look at Coco Chanel, like I love case studies, I love research, I love going back into the data, because it's going to show you everything you need to know. Like research other brands, research other people, other founders, and you'll kind of see the evolution of them and their brand as well. And that may give you a little bit of confidence to do that. I'm definitely interested. I'm already excited for tomorrow. Yes, we're excited for you. Yes, tomorrow is for those of you that are dropping on and off. Stop scrolling, start building. We have a live. It's gonna be live like this, but more in depth on systems, building systems, with your brand, making sure that you're building something for the long run, not the trend, like she said, and really getting an idea of what it is that you need to succeed so that your business is sustainable. What does V1 look like? We don't have to be all the way in the crazy funnels and the build outs, but like what does V1 of your brand and your systems look like, and how do we architect that? So that's tomorrow. Thank you guys for all these wonderful questions. Drop systems in the comment if you want the link. Before we close, I love doing like rapid fire rounds. This is awesome. So for you, Kris, what is one system you use every day?
The command center.
And tell us about your own system that you built. Yes.
The command center tracks absolutely everything in my business, my time, my relationships, my clients, my projects, like my content, like every single facet of my brand is collected into one place. And it is the single greatest thing that I'm the most grateful for, because I don't have to rely on this guy that sucks a lot of the time to remember when was the last time that I spoke to someone. Like with Jakiya and I met February 4th, 2022. And I could tell you that. I could tell you that because of the command center. And now here we are. And then here we are 3 something years later, doing this amazing collab and supporting her in her cohort, which, we need more spaces like this in the world. And so it's a pleasure to be able to bring what I've spent my life and dedicated my life to doing to this community.
Yes. Thank you so much. Chelsea, a brand bootcamp grad, has joined. Thank you guys so much. I love that. So the command center, you'll hear more about that in the workshop and inside the bootcamp. And then obviously if you join cohort 20, you will have access to Kris. And obviously she's a wealth of knowledge. I mean, this could go on for hours. I would say one system that I use every day is definitely ClickUp. So probably not as powerful, but equally as efficient with time tracking, mind mapping, task listing, understanding what I need to do, when I need to do it, how I need to do it. I'm even tracking this right now and like the time spent on this live so that I can get an aggregated report of how I'm running my business, how my day is set up, and where the gaps and efficiencies are. So ClickUp, not sponsored, but it's Stephanie in here. She onboarded our brand into ClickUp, and it's just been up literally ever since. So again, tomorrow we'll talk to you guys more in depth about those types of systems and things of that nature so you can understand what that means. Okay, what is a client win that you're most proud of?
Oof. Yeah, this is a recent client win. A creative that was struggling, was dry for months and months, and then after 5 hours of working together, made $2,600 in 2 days. So,
Period. Okay, so we'll get the tea on how that happened in the workshop tomorrow. I love that. I love when we have big increases of revenue as well. That's like my favorite. Okay, last rapid fire. What excites you most about joining Brand Bootcamp as a mentor?
oof. Judging by this live, the quality and depth of just people and the transformation that's going to happen. And it's all going to be about like, how much can y'all handle?
Yo, my people are good. They're locked in. They're deep. You guys are asking the right questions, which shows me like you're on the right path and we're all here in community as peers. So I don't know more than you, and or Kris doesn't know more than me or you. We're all just here to commune and collaborate. So I'm excited to help y'all build your brands. I'm excited to bring on a systems expert. I told you guys 10 cohorts ago that we were going to have experts, leaders, mentors, and here we are. So this is a really pivotal moment in Brand Boot Camp. So yeah, let's stop overthinking. Let's start experiencing real transformation. Let's start building for real, and let's stop scrolling and get to the bag and get to the systems and get to the impact. So we're gonna see y'all tomorrow, live on Zoom at 12 noon EST. If you didn't drop systems in the comment, go to hustlebees.com/build, and then you can sign up there. And then I will sprinkle some pieces of this live to you all, but it will only be, the full will only be on the website for the email list. So if you sign up for the workshop, you'll be on the email list and you'll get the live. It takes a village. So proud of you all. Keep striving. Yes, thank you, Mama. And we appreciate you as leader of the village. All right, Kris, I'll let you get to your destination.
Right.
I'm
Yes.
sweating because it's 100 degrees in City Hall, so I'm gonna go. But guys, I'm so grateful for your time, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye. See y'all tomorrow.
Bye.